There's a bitter truth most men don't want to hear. The more you pour into a woman, the more she starts pulling away. Not always right away, and not in the way that makes sense. But over time, the pattern shows itself. The more available you are, the more she tests you. The more you prioritize her, the more she questions your value. And the more you try to prove your love, the more she begins to feel like she's above you. As a man, you're taught that love means sacrifice, that showing her how much you care, how much you do for her, will win her over and keep her loyal. But here's what's never said out loud. Women don't respect the man who makes them the center of his life. They don't trust the man who bends over backwards to please. And they damn sure don't feel attracted to the man who tries too hard to be her everything. You've seen it. The guy who brings her flowers, gives her the world, and texts her good morning every day is the same guy she gets bored with. Meanwhile, the man who puts himself first, who's got purpose, edge, and self-control, he's the one she chases. It's not because he's toxic or careless. It's because he has gravity. And women are drawn to gravity. This video isn't about playing games. It's not about being cold or indifferent. It's about understanding a brutal but freeing reality. The more you care in ways that put her above your mission, the more she will subconsciously lose interest. You're not here to be her emotional crutch. You're here to be a man she respects. Let's break this down and get to the root. Before we start the video, I want to remind you that my exclusive online course on mastering the dating game is available now. If you've been learning from my YouTube videos, you're only scratching the surface. This course goes deeper, teaching you everything you need to know about the dating game, from approaching a woman to building real attraction. We just finished section 5 in the course, and you won't find this information on videos on my channel. It's easy to access with a secure payment option. Visit stoicapproachtolife.podia.com or click the link in the description to enroll now and improve your dating life. 1. Respect is rooted in challenge. A woman doesn't respect a man because he's nice. She respects him because he's grounded. When she knows you have your own standards, your own line you won't let her cross, that's when she begins to look at you differently. Not as someone she can lead around, but as someone she needs to earn. The biggest mistake men make is trying to love a woman into respecting them. They think, if I just do more for her, she'll see how serious I am. So they show up every time she calls. They cancel their plans when she wants to talk. They buy gifts, they over-text, they over-explain. What they don't realize is that effort doesn't make her feel more valued. It makes her feel in control. There's a reason why the men she's most drawn to aren't always the ones who treat her like royalty. It's not because she enjoys being mistreated. It's because those men have a backbone. They're not afraid to walk away. They know what they bring, and they're not out to convince her of it. Look at sports. Michael Jordan didn't try to win fans by pleasing everyone. He earned respect because he played with fire. He wasn't just talented, he had an edge. He didn't apologize for it. Women respond to men in a similar way. The ones who command respect carry themselves like they've got somewhere to be, something to protect, and nothing to prove. You ever notice how a woman will lose interest right after you open up too fast or start showing her too much affection too soon? That's because you didn't give her room to wonder. You made her feel certain, and certainty kills attraction. Respect is born in uncertainty, in the feeling that you're solid, but you're not going to hand yourself over without discernment. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be a jerk, but you do have to be centered. A woman wants a man she can look up to, not one who looks up to her. That means you don't let her push boundaries. You don't reward bad behavior with more attention. You don't fold just because she's upset. And most of all, you don't chase her approval. When she sees that you're calm under pressure, that you're not easily swayed by her moods, and that you'll walk away before you beg, that's when her respect starts to deepen. Men who care too much lose sight of the bigger game. They become obsessed with keeping the woman happy. But happiness isn't her deepest need. Security and challenge are. And if you keep giving without challenge, she'll subconsciously start to view you as weak. Never beg for her respect. Command it with presence. Hold your ground. That's where the power lives. 2. Attention becomes devaluation. Men don't realize how quickly attention turns into background noise. In the beginning, your attention is currency. It's valuable, rare, and exciting. But the moment you start handing it out like candy, she stops seeing it as a gift and starts seeing it as a given. What was once appreciated becomes expected. And once it's expected, it's no longer special. This is where a lot of men start spiraling. They meet a woman, feel that spark, and go all in. They text her constantly, comment on all her posts, tell her how beautiful she is every day. In their minds, they're showing love. But in her mind, she starts thinking, why is he trying so hard? She might not even be conscious of it, but something inside her shifts. The chase is over. The value is diluted. You need to understand something most men never grasp. Attention that's always available becomes worthless. Think of it like a song you loved the first time you heard it. You played it over and over until eventually it faded into the background. It didn't hit the same. It became noise. The same thing happens with your presence if you make it too easy. This doesn't mean you have to play games or pretend to be busy. It means you have to actually be busy. With your purpose, with your goals, with your life. You can't be sitting around waiting for her text. You can't drop everything every time she gives you a sliver of attention. You are not a pet, and you are not a servant. You are a man with direction, and your attention must be earned, not just received. In the movie Heat, Robert De Niro plays a professional thief who lives by the code. Don't let yourself get attached to anything you are not willing to walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you feel the heat around the corner. While that may sound extreme, the spirit of it is powerful. When a man's identity isn't tied to needing someone's attention, he becomes unshakable. And that's the energy women feel even before they can explain it. Most guys fear pulling back their attention because they think they'll lose her. What they don't see is that giving more is usually what pushes her away. She needs to feel a little unsure. She needs to feel like your time and energy are a privilege, not a right. The more freely you give it, the less she wants it. Think of it like this. When she doesn't know exactly where she stands with you, she starts investing more. She texts first. She thinks about you more. She tries harder to keep your focus. That's not manipulation. That's biology. Women are wired to respond to challenge. And if you remove that challenge, you remove her drive to impress you. Attention is your power. Don't give it cheaply. Let her work for it. That's when she values it. That's when she values you. 3. Overinvesting kills polarity. The moment you start doing too much, giving too much, showing too much devotion before it's earned, you kill the natural tension that creates desire. Attraction thrives in imbalance, not dysfunction, but the kind of imbalance where masculine and feminine energies play off each other. When you, as a man, overinvest in a woman too early, you flip that polarity. You become the one chasing, and she becomes the one assessing. Men often mistake consistency for impact. They think if they just keep showing up, always being available, always checking in, always proving their care, that they'll be seen as irreplaceable. But what really happens is she starts to feel smothered. She feels the energy shift from strength to neediness. And nothing dries up her attraction faster than need. Have you ever watched a woman slowly detach from a man who gave her everything? You see her get colder. Her replies get shorter. She spends more time on her phone when they're together. He can't figure it out. He's doing more than ever. But that's the problem. He's doing so much that there's no room for her to feel the space, to wonder, to desire. Think about nature. The sun doesn't beg the earth to revolve around it. It just is. Powerful, constant, full of gravity. The earth follows. That's masculine energy. It draws things in by its force, not by its chasing. In the movie Casino Royale, James Bond meets Vesper Lind, and their dynamic is instantly electric. Why? Because Bond never tries to impress. He challenges her. He holds frame. He's not trying to win her over. He's already centered in who he is. That's what makes her lean in. That's what creates the spark. When a man overinvests, he gives off the energy of someone who's trying to buy love. He's saying, please choose me, please validate me, I'll give you everything you want, just don't leave. And a woman feels that. She may not say it, but her body, her instincts, they pick it up. and her respect starts to fade. Polarity is about balance. A woman wants to feel your presence, but not your obsession. She wants to know you care, but not that you're collapsing your life to make her happy. She wants to feel chosen, but not worshipped. When you stop being the mountain and start acting like a servant, the polarity dies. This doesn't mean you become emotionally unavailable or cold. It means you recognize that you are the prize too, that your love is valuable, that your energy, your time, and your effort are things that must be earned, not just assumed. Strong men hold back just enough to keep the dance alive. They don't give it all away up front. They let her rise to meet them. That's what creates respect. That's what keeps the flame lit. 4. Emotionally available, not emotionally dependent. There's a dangerous confusion many men have today. They think being emotionally open means being emotionally dependent. They think that sharing every thought, every fear, and every insecurity with a woman is a sign of deep connection. But there's a line between expressing yourself and making her your therapist, between being present and being needy. Women don't fall for men who need them emotionally. They fall for men who can carry their own weight. A man who's solid within himself, who doesn't unravel at the first sign of emotional tension, commands more than affection. He commands respect. And that's something you cannot buy with vulnerability alone. You've heard people say women want emotional connection. That's true. But what they rarely explain is that women want emotional connection from a man who doesn't need it to survive. If you're constantly venting, constantly looking for her comfort, constantly seeking reassurance, you're showing her you're not grounded. And the second she feels like she's your emotional anchor, the polarity flips. She becomes the masculine energy, and you become the boy who needs a hug. Let's look at it through a movie lens. In The Dark Knight, Bruce Wayne is deeply emotional, but you don't see him breaking down or begging for understanding. He's complex, he feels pain, he carries burdens, but he carries them like a man. Quiet strength, calm presence. And that makes women want to understand him more, not less. Men today are being sold a lie, that being emotionally wide open all the time is what women crave. But that's not attraction, that's therapy. And a woman is not built to carry your emotional load. She may want to be supportive, but over time, she starts to lose respect if she's the one constantly propping you up. Not because she's cruel, but because your emotional dependence makes her feel unsafe. You need to build emotional self-respect. That means you can share your truth, but you don't make your truth her responsibility. You can express yourself, but not from a place of hoping she'll save you. You can be open, but always rooted in control. Think of it like a tree. Strong roots, flexible branches. You move, you bend, but you don't fall. You want to be the man she runs to, not the man who constantly runs to her. That doesn't mean silence, that means strength. And women feel that deeply. A man who can handle his world, who can navigate stress without crumbling, who doesn't need her to regulate his feelings, that man becomes a source of calm in her chaos. That's rare, and rare is attractive. Emotionally available means you're real. Emotionally dependent means you're fragile. Don't confuse the two. Let her see you, but let her see that even when you're vulnerable, you're still steady. That's when she leans in, not out. 5. Validation is a trap. The moment you start seeking validation from a woman, you give her power over your identity. You hand her the keys to how you feel about yourself. Whether she texts you back or doesn't, whether she compliments you or criticizes you, whether she's affectionate or distant, suddenly all of it controls your self-worth. And once you're in that space, you've already lost the frame. Here's what most men don't understand. A woman can feel when your confidence depends on her approval. It changes the way you move. It changes your tone, your body language, even your decisions. You hesitate more. You second-guess yourself. You say things to keep the peace instead of speaking your truth. You stop being the man she was initially drawn to, and you become the man who's just trying not to mess it up. And here's the kicker. The more validation you seek from her, the more she begins to test you. She may not do it intentionally, but her instincts kick in. She starts pulling back, becoming colder, just to see how you react. Not because she's cruel, but because she's subconsciously checking, is this man grounded in himself, or is he orbiting around me? Think about sports again. The greatest athletes don't look to the crowd for confidence. They step onto the court already knowing they belong there. Kobe Bryant didn't shoot for applause. He shot because he believed in his shot. That belief, that inner validation, that's what separates the great from the average. The same applies to how you show up with women. A woman is naturally more attracted to a man who validates himself. A man who doesn't need her to clap for him in order to feel good about who he is. You could compliment him or not. He still knows his value. That's not arrogance. That's certainty. And certainty is magnetic. Men who chase validation end up molding themselves into what they think the woman wants. They lose their edge, their authenticity, their leadership. And then they wonder why she says she feels something is missing. What's missing is you. The real you. The one who doesn't care if she approves because you approve of yourself. This is why so many guys get friend-zoned after being the sweet guy. They weren't being sweet from strength. They were being sweet from hope, hoping for validation, hoping that if they're nice enough, she'll finally choose them. But women see through that, and what they see is a man who doesn't truly believe in himself unless someone else tells him to. Take back the frame. Start validating yourself. Look in the mirror and remind yourself that you're not here to be liked. You're here to be respected. Compliments are nice. Her affection is great, but they should never be the source of your self-worth. When you stop needing validation, you become a man who walks in power, and that's when women really start paying attention. 6. The power of walking away. Nothing commands more respect from a woman than your ability to walk away, not as a tactic, not as a performance, but as a real, grounded mindset, where your standards matter more than your feelings, and your self-respect means more than any connection. That kind of man doesn't chase. He doesn't beg. He doesn't sit in confusion asking, why is she acting different? He observes, decides, and moves. Most men stay too long. They tolerate disrespect, inconsistency, and emotional games because they're afraid to lose her. They think walking away means failure, like it's giving up on love. But here's the truth. Staying when your standards are being violated isn't love. It's fear. And women can smell that fear from a mile away. When a man is afraid to lose a woman, she becomes the authority in the relationship. She sets the tone. She decides the pace. She tests his limits because she can. And what's worse, the more she pushes, the more he tries to fix things. He becomes reactive instead of centered, emotional instead of strategic. That's when the dynamic shifts and she starts losing respect fast. Watch any man who holds real influence in life and you'll see the same trait, detachment from outcomes. He knows his worth and he's willing to walk if the situation doesn't reflect that. In the film Gladiator, Maximus doesn't beg for recognition or mercy. He moves with purpose and conviction. That quiet intensity, that deep sense of knowing, that's what draws people to him. And it's the same energy that makes women chase. Walking away doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care about yourself enough not to tolerate being treated like an option. It means you'd rather be alone than in a dynamic where you're constantly trying to prove your value. A woman may not say it out loud, but the moment she realizes you're the kind of man who will walk if necessary, she will think twice before taking you for granted. Here's what happens when a man walks away with dignity. It triggers a response in her. Not always right away, but eventually. She starts to reflect. She replays the things you said, the strength you showed. And often, that space you created becomes more powerful than any words you could have spoken. It's in your absence that she feels your presence the most. Too many men talk about boundaries but don't enforce them. They say what they won't accept, until they're tested. Then they bend. But if you bend every time, your words mean nothing. Boundaries are only as strong as your willingness to enforce them with action. So ask yourself this. If she disrespected you today, would you walk? Not threaten, not argue, just walk. Because if the answer is no, then she's not the problem, your attachment is. The man who's willing to walk is the one who gets chased. Not because he's playing a game, but because he respects himself more than he fears being alone. 7. When you prioritize her, you abandon yourself. One of the deepest mistakes men make in relationships is slowly, almost unknowingly, giving up their identity to prioritize the woman they're with. It starts with small compromises, skipping the gym to talk to her, missing time with friends to accommodate her plans, pausing on your goals because she needs more of you. And before you realize it, your life no longer looks like your own. It's shaped around her, and she knows it. What feels like devotion to you starts to look like submission to her. She might not say anything at first. She might even act like she appreciates it. But deep down, she's losing the very thing that attracted her to you in the beginning. Your independence, your drive, your edge. Women are drawn to men who are anchored in something bigger than the relationship. And when you make her that anchor, you become weightless in her eyes. It's not about being selfish. It's about being whole. The masculine energy is at its peak when it's moving forward, driven by purpose. If you take that engine out of your life and replace it with making her happy, you've already lost the frame. You're no longer leading, you're reacting. Remember the movie Creed? Adonis had love in his life, but he never stopped training. He never stopped chasing greatness. He didn't say, "Now that I have a woman, I'm going to take it easy." No, he used that connection as fuel, not as a replacement for purpose. And because of that, she respected him more. She followed him because he never lost himself. A woman will test you by pulling you closer. She'll ask for more of your time, your attention, your emotion. It's not always conscious. Sometimes it's her way of seeing how strong your boundaries really are. Will you say no? Will you keep showing up for you? Or will you fold and become another man who gave his fire away for her comfort? Here's what happens when you abandon yourself. She becomes your focus, but you stop being hers. The more you orbit around her, the more she turns away. She starts feeling pressure, not protection, obligation, not desire. You become a shadow of the man she was once excited about. And from that moment on, everything changes. The tone, the intimacy, the respect. You are not built to revolve around a woman. You are built to build, to lead, to evolve. When you stay in that lane, and she sees that you're not afraid to make her a part of your life instead of the center, she will respect you. And if she doesn't, she was never truly ready for a man like you. Your purpose is your spine. Lose it, and everything else collapses. Prioritize yourself, and everything, including her, either aligns or exits. And either way, you win. A woman's respect is never earned through overgiving, overcaring, or over-explaining. It's earned through presence, purpose, and the power to walk away when necessary. The more you center your life around her, the more she feels the imbalance, and the less she values you. But when you stand firm in who you are, when your attention is rare, your mission clear, and your emotions disciplined, she doesn't just want you, she respects you. That's the difference between being desired and being chased. Don't lose yourself trying to keep her. Stay grounded, stay focused, and let her rise to you. And remember, if you're serious about mastering the dating game, don't miss out on my exclusive online course. We go beyond what's covered in these videos, giving you powerful insights from the first approach to lasting attraction. It's easy to enroll with a secure payment option. Visit stoicapproachtolife.podia.com or simply click the link in the description to secure your spot. Don't wait until it's too late. Take action now and start transforming your dating life today. I want to especially appreciate you for taking your time to watch till the end of this video. I hope the video helps you improve every aspect of your relationship with women. Until next time, this is Stoic Approach to Life.